Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, the news today is that Stansted Airport, which is one of our major hubs for coming into the south of England, is going to be having a number of drive-in movie nights during December. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this because, first of all, if it's a drive-in movie night, then that means there isn't a cover. It's not in a building. It's going to be outside, and they're going to put the screen up in the car park. There's a few things about this. First of all, it's going to be winter and very cold. Unlike America, who perhaps are used to having drive-in theatres in some warm parts of the country, we aren't really accustomed to this, so we'll be kind of freezing. In American English, cinemas are called movie theatres, and they use a lot of different adjectives to describe movies. Even the word movie itself is an American word. British people, we rather prefer film. We don't go to movie theatres, we go to the cinema. Selfie, movie. And when films started to move from being silent to having voices, they were called talkies. So you can see there's a real pattern there. Movie, because the film moved through the projector. Selfie, clearly was just a word taken or played upon the word movie. And talkie, because of course the movie finally had voices back in the 1920s and 30s. So there's a pattern there about where these words came from. In Britain, on the other hand, we prefer cinema instead of movie theatre. We also prefer film instead of movie. During the 80s and 90s, it was also quite common to call a film a flick. Flick. Hey, baby, you want to go see a flick tonight? Was a kind of a chat-up line if you were dating. And it's interesting to note that that's been kind of picked up with Netflix. And that's where we get the name from. Internet movies, internet flicks. There we are. Where does the word flicks come from? Well, that's another interesting story. To flick is when you take a book and you put your thumb and you just move it up and the pages pass down. That's called flicking. And of course, if you haven't guessed already, flicking is what film does as it passes through the projector. So we have, of course, film passing through the projector, that's the material, and we have the film or the movie which we watch as the film flicks through the projector. I'm not sure if it does that anymore. I'm sure that they have more high-tech ways now of giving us movies. I don't think it's on those large reels or discs which used to be delivered to the cinemas. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, Stansted Airport is causing controversy because people are asking, well, why would you want to set up a drive-in cinema, the kind which, of course, your cars just go to the screen and watch? Why would you want that at an airport? I mean, if you've ever been to Stansted Airport, you'll know it's nowhere near London. As soon as you arrive, you just immediately run for the bus, the train, to rent a car because nobody wants to stay there. Stansted Airport is in the middle of nowhere. So who's going to watch a drive-in movie? And you need to have a car to go there as well because it's drive-in. There's no spaces for people. Now, we've all seen the movies from America in the 1950s and 60s of people driving to the cinema and a waitress being on roller skates, skating up to you with a tray, offering you a drink. So if you're expecting anything like that, you would be very wrong. Of course, there's more chance that there's going to be ice there, especially if it's in a car park. So you'll be driving into a very dark place, unable to leave the car because it'll be too cold. Hopefully somebody is going to come and offer you food, but I rather think you'll have to bring your own. And the choice of movies, well, the main one is Top Gun Maverick. I'm not sure I'd want to pay to sit in a car to see that when I could quite happily rent it from Amazon, Netflix, or go to a nice, warm, cozy cinema. Yeah. So there we are, Stansted Airport. Other people are asking, well, when I'm sitting in the car watching the movie, what about the planes? If they're taking off every 2 minutes, am I going to be able to hear the movie? And that's another thing. It would have to be really, really loud in order to reach everyone. But looking at the picture, there's not going to be a very large audience. I think they're just converting a small part of their airport car park. It's difficult to say, but it would have to be loud anyway to reach the person at the back. Unless, of course, they're offering Bluetooth and we all can just listen to the audio. I doubt if they would do that, though. I don't know. Maybe. But very interesting, isn't it? I mean, I've never heard of anyone doing a drive-in movie here. It's just too cold. We had some of them during COVID because the UK law tried to insist that we only meet outside. So they set up some events to comply with COVID law. Drive-in cinemas was one of them. So maybe that's where this comes from. But if you're expecting the whole American thing with the woman wearing a nice uniform and roller skates or roller boots, it would be nice, but there's more chance of finding a very large lady grunting at you while she throws a menu in your face. I think that's probably more real. But anyway, let's do some adjectives to describe the drive-in cinema experience. Well, when we talk about anything that's vintage, we can say it's retro. Retro. Because drive-in movies have a classic vintage charm that calls us back to the middle of the 20th century. Another thing about cinemas and drive-in movies, they're communal. And you know, British people aren't really so social. So you have to kind of sit there and look ahead, assuming it's a dry night. I mean, if it's a wet night, you'll have to have your windscreen wipers on to take away the rain. So a very communal effort. It's going to be a shared experience. Oh, I hate that. You know, going to the cinema, sitting next to someone who insists on whispering. And then there's always romantic people at the cinema. Oh, no. Oh dear, no. God, no. So at least in their cars, they don't have to suffer watching. Well, they could watch romantic people, I suppose. There might be people in the car having a romantic moment, I suppose. Relaxed. The atmosphere at a drive-in movie is laid back. Oh no, not in the UK it isn't. I think everything in the UK, unless you're drunk, is very uptight. And I think that's why we drink a lot, because we can't really relax easily in public. I mean, I was on a train the other day, and of course, a young man and woman started kissing each other, and we all started coughing at them and fastening our jackets and fixing our scarves to let them know that they shouldn't do that in public. Um, Unique as well. That's another good word. Drive-in movies offer a very unique experience. Yeah, especially if you're nowhere near the screen, I suppose. I'm just wondering what the food would be like. They surely can't expect you to sit through a Tom Cruise movie without at least a coffee. I mean, you'd need something to get through that, I would imagine. No doubt there will be some contractor there waiting to charge you £20 for a Diet Coke or something. Oh, nostalgic. Yeah, they do bring up memories, not really of drive-in movies. I mean, I've never been to one, but they do bring up memories of watching movies in the past, I suppose. I'm just remembering the Drifters. Didn't they have a number of hits in the 1960s about the movies? Oh, yeah, Saturday Night at the Movies. And there's another one they did, sitting in the back row of the movies on a Saturday night. I love the Drifters. Yeah. Oh, here we are, romantic. For many, drive-ins are synonymous with date nights. Not if you're sitting there with a scarf and gloves on, they're not. But having said that, you would have the car heating on. You would need to. That's if you don't crash on the ice on the way there first. Um, Versatile, yeah, yeah. Drive-ins can host a variety of events. Adventurous, yeah. If you haven't been to one before, it would be a kind of like a new experience, but not in a cold country with the snow coming down, I don't think, or the rain, unless you had Bluetooth, because you'd need to roll your windows down to hear, I guess, unless they give you Bluetooth. Yeah, leisurely. It says here there's often no rush at a drive-in. Really? I can't imagine that. I mean, in the south of England, everyone's moving fast. But strange, weird that an airport of all places would have a drive-in movie facility at Christmas. I think they're just trying to get us to relax. But as you can hear, they're not very good at doing that, setting up a drive-in movie at an airport, the place that you want to get out of as quickly as you possibly can. I suppose there are towns around that airport. There's a town called Stansted, isn't there? Which isn't far away. But even so, I mean, and then there's safety. Would a car park at the airport have CCTV? Well, that's another issue. So many reasons there not to go to a drive-in movie, but very nice. Well, if it floats your boat, definitely you should go. So I won't be there. That's for sure. Oh no, I don't even drive, so there's little chance of me getting there. But the airport sounds nice. Maybe to watch the movie while you're waiting for your next flight. They've said here, Stansted Airport drive-in cinema will not distract pilots. They've stressed that pilots will not be distracted by the large LED screen. Some people call it a LED screen, but that's not correct. It's an LED screen at a temporary drive-in cinema. Is to host film screenings in his Jet Park's car park for a week in December. The movies include classics such as Elf, Home Alone, and Dirty Dancing, Grease, and Top Gun Maverick. The screen will be nowhere near the runway. Well, I'm sure they've got more than one runway there. The screen will be nowhere near the runway and certainly not on the flight path, a spokesperson said. Um, the charity event has been cleared and is compliant with regulations. There's a picture here of a previous one they've done. Dear, it's pretty bizarre because the screen is tiny. There's loads of cars. The sky looks like it's about to open up and rain because it's very grey and dark. The picture clearly has been taken on a dark night. There's dark trees, dark coloured cars, a dark screen, and a dark sky. It's like a concrete jungle, as we say in the UK. And they have this screen in the middle. It doesn't look very relaxed. In fact, if you want to leave in a hurry, you're blocked in. So you won't be able to get out either. So that's another thing. If you suddenly want to leave the movie, you can't until everyone else leaves. Let's see. It says here, very badly written this. It says, where the car park is, it is quite set back from the runway. When you arrive, you're going to get a personal speaker. All right, so they don't give you Bluetooth. They actually give you a little speaker. It will go in your car, so all the sound will be within your car. So there shouldn't be too much noise from planes. It shouldn't affect the experience too much. It doesn't sound very professional, does it? They hand you a little speaker. They should have said something like, you're very welcome to enjoy the movie in the comfort of your own car. That would have sounded better. 2 films per day showing during the event. All proceeds are going to charity. And they've said here, we've had the idea for a while, but it takes a lot of organization and planning. We're always trying to think of new and creative ways of raising as much money as we can for charity, and that's how this idea came about. I wonder where that picture came from then. The one I'm looking at, it is very, very dark and gloomy with all these cars on top of a dark coloured road with a tiny screen in the middle. Oh dear. Maybe I'm just not romantic. Maybe that's the problem. But I just don't see how that is going to help anyone. And anyway, a movie like Elf, can you imagine being stuck in your car with 3 kids? Oh no. They're not even going to be able to see the screen, I think. They're only going to be able to hear it. And I'm sure they've watched Elf 100 times by this point. So no. I suppose if you want to get into the Christmas mood, it might be something that you can do, but not my cup of tea, that's for sure. Right, there we are. So that's some adjectives to describe Stansted Airport's new drive-in cinema, which they promise won't distract pilots. Good. And I hope you've enjoyed this. So take care, and we'll talk again soon. See you. Bye.